What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Shoe Booty Sports. I'm your host, Graham Powell, on this screen. That's Bradley Brown on the other, and the Titleist hat and the Razorback logo doohickey in the background. Say what's up, Brad.
What's happening?
We got a few things happening. We got the ALCS happening at the moment, game two. Well, it's a really good game right now, at least. Really has been kind of all game. Didn't look like it early. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor before we get started. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one-of-a-kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. All right, so it's the top of the sixth right now. Yankees in Cleveland, that is. The Cleveland Guardians. I said it right the first time, for maybe the first time ever. Last night, I believe it was. Wasn't it game one last night, Monday?
Believe so, yeah.
Okay. Or Sunday. It was one of those days. Either way, Yankees took care of business. Didn't get much trouble from Cleveland. Looks like they kind of picked up where they left off at the start of this game. Went up 3-0. Now it's 3-2. So I'm trying to find the score here on my ESPN app, but I'm getting shown hockey. Okay, there it is at the very top. All right. Top of the sixth, 3-2 Yankees. So Guardians putting up a fight in game two, despite a terrible start from their starting pitcher. I can't remember his name, something Tanner something. Some a weird last name. But anyway, let's talk NFL. Some big time trades happened today. This morning, afternoon, etc. One Davante Adams is officially a New York Jet. Who saw that?
Shocker.
Yeah, shocker, right? The Jets should have won last night, Monday Night Football against the Bills. I mean, they should have
Yeah.
won, but it
They
reminded
doink two
me.
off the post, right?
Yeah, but Buffalo missed some field goals too. But
Yeah.
it was a combination of missing field goals and penalties. They reminded me of the Arkansas Razorbacks. I was watching. I was like, this is some Razorback stuff that the Jets are pulling right now, and that's losing football. I mean, the Jets did classic losing football last night, which is make mistakes, uh, missing field goals that Legatron normally makes, and just penalties, and some more penalties. And there is some criticism about the officiating. I get it to an extent, but at the same time, I mean, some of them were legitimate penalties, and I don't know, you committed way more than you needed to win a game, and especially beat a pretty good team in Buffalo. But the Jets went from going 3-3 to now with a win over a division rival to now you're 2-4, and Buffalo has the advantage. I mean,
Yeah.
Buffalo basically kind of won 2 games last night because you get a tiebreaker there. But
Yeah.
it was the best I've seen Aaron Rodgers look as a Jet.
Yeah, they looked pretty good, minus, those mistakes. I think there was 204 yards or something like that in total penalty yards. Like, pretty
Wow.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I didn't realize it was that high.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's the best I've seen Rodgers look. They got a run game going. There was clearly a connection with Garrett Wilson, and they're only going to get better with Davante Adams. I didn't see what all they gave up for him, but whatever it is, it's worth it.
A conditional third round pick that could turn into a second round pick, I want to say.
Yeah, definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it to make that trade. Amari Cooper, the other trade, going to the Bills, and they didn't give up much for him either. I mean, it was like 5th and 6th round picks that were given up for Amari Cooper. And Amari Cooper can still play. He's just had Deshaun Watson throwing him the ball, who's just, I said it last week, just he's gone Tiger Woods scandal, as in he's just not the same guy anymore. But it's Tiger Woods scandal like on steroids, right? Tiger Woods did one thing. He cheated on his wife and got caught. Deshaun Watson got accused of and has settled 20 plus sexual assault allegations. So that's one significantly worse than the other, and I'll let you decide that.
Yeah. The stat that I heard earlier tonight is that he has more settled lawsuits than he does touchdown passes.
Yeah, more settled sexual assault lawsuits than touchdown passes since becoming a Cleveland Brown. And I looked up his stats today, Deshaun Watson. His career stats are still pretty good because he was really good when he was in Houston. I think his best year he threw 30, and this was like 2020 or 2019 in that range. Threw 33 touchdowns, 7 picks, like 4,800 yards. I mean, Deshaun Watson was a really good player. There's a reason Cleveland gave him $230 million guaranteed. He was really good. He was great. He was all-time great in college. He was really
Even that on top of being 2 years removed, right?
No, this was before that.
Oh.
Are you talking about his best statistical season?
No, I'm talking about his contract with the Browns.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they gave him all that. After that's the thing. He didn't play for like 2 years. He just basically sat out the last one. For whatever reason that was. I don't even recall all the details at this point. But he was a really good player for a very consistent period of time. That doesn't make any sense. For an extended period of time, he was consistently a very good player. So I would never give anybody that much guaranteed money, and it'll never happen again. And if anything, here's a lesson why. Like, this is the reason why it'll never happen again. One. Two, it's just you don't know what you're going to get after a guy goes through something like that. And I'm not saying he's a victim or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but that's clearly going to affect you. That's clearly going to be in your head, and you're not the same guy that you were before all that. And that's shown on the field. Saw it with Tiger Woods. We're very much seeing it now with Deshaun Watson. But to Tiger's credit, he got another major. I mean, granted, it was just one when I thought he'd break Jack Nicklaus's record.
If it wasn't for the car accident, be a different story. But
maybe. But
he wasn't, maybe too, man.
He wasn't the same guy after the divorce. He wasn't.
Yeah, but he was a lot closer to that guy than he is now.
Yes, that's true. He's kind of been cursed to an extent. Just a lot has happened. Injuries and then that car wreck he nearly lost his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that too. Deshaun Watson, it's just all self-inflicted.
Yeah. And he's still having to deal with it. I mean, hell, he had another suit come out 2 or 3 weeks ago, another accuser. So, and I'm sure that's not going to be the last one.
Probably not. I want to say I heard something about him settling that, but that's just, I don't know. I can't recall if that's the case or not, but either way, you're still having to deal with that, and you're probably going to continue to have to deal with that. His numbers since then, since becoming a Brown, his numbers are like 7 touchdowns, 5 picks, and like this year it's like 5 touchdowns and 3 picks, something like that. Terrible numbers for an NFL quarterback, but especially one that you're paying $230 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
So good for Amari Cooper for getting out of there. This is only going to This is only a good move for Buffalo. I would think they're still searching for that kind of top wideout guy, and they got one that's pretty good at that, or has been in the past.
You can very well be that. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But those are the two big trades: Davante Adams to the Jets. I did see, and Amari Cooper to the Bills. I saw that Davante Adams crashed Rodgers' interview on the McAfee show today, which was
Yeah.
pretty cool to see. So I mean, immediately there,
Seen that live when I was on my lunch break.
yeah, I mean that was a heck of a duo though, Rodgers and Adams. Like I said, the Jets should have won. They should have won last night, and that's the best I've seen them look offensively. So, and I mean, they were close. I mean, they were this close from. If they were had they won last night and had been 3-3, I would have been. I would think there'd be no panic today. But instead, it's like let's go get Davante Adams. So who knows? Maybe this will be a good thing in the long run.
I think it was going to happen either way, even if they won last night. Davante was still on his way to New York.
I think so too. But the deal made sure to get done after last night. Okay, so other takeaways from NFL games this past week. I didn't watch a lot of football this weekend. I watched hardly any college football this weekend. I'll get to that in a bit. And I have no regrets about it. The Razorbacks were off this week. I spent
Yeah.
all Saturday fishing with my dad in the Mountain View area, Blanchard Springs Caverns. So zero caught some trout. So zero regrets about that. Great day to do it. Sunday, hung out with family and just had other stuff. Had to give my dog a bath because he went with me fishing all day Saturday, so the dog needed a bath.
Bet he loved that.
Yeah, he laid down for most of it, but where we were, it was when I had to carry him like to and from the spot, because we're in a spring, so lots of rock to walk around and on, and so he at 14 he just couldn't do that. So it was basically here. Let me find you a semi-level spot to lay down off this trail, and that's pretty much what he did the whole time. But still, he did enough to get dirty. So yeah, but it was a good time. Point is, I didn't see a lot of football, uh, especially Saturday. Saw a little bit Sunday. I saw some Sunday afternoon, uh, Sunday night football game. But the one, which game was the Lions Cowboys game?
That was the afternoon Sunday afternoon game, right?
Okay, yeah, I was like, it's one or the other. I was like, I didn't think it was a Sunday night football game. What was the Sunday night football game? I can't even remember what it was at this point. Here it is Tuesday. I'm already forgetting what the Sunday night football game was.
Uh,
And Brad has also, but that's okay.
yeah. I want to say Ravens. No, or was it? No, it was the Steelers Raiders, right?
No, I don't think it was the
Uh,
Raiders. Maybe we'll figure it out by the end of the show. Who knows? Maybe not. It's okay. Either way, the big takeaways right at the top of the list. Lions were dominant against Dallas. Beat them 47-9.
Hate to
I
see it.
Yeah. See, I have Dallas's defense, and I will not after after this time tomorrow or tomorrow morning. They will no longer be on my fantasy roster. And I
Yeah.
really should have dropped them a long time ago because that whole defense,
After week one, dude, they they kind of went off the deep end.
yeah, they're injured at every like star position for them. So it's only been downhill ever since week one. But and the Lions are a good football team, exposed them, beat them 47-9. I
Yep.
just from a fantasy perspective, I hated it for the defense, but from a personal perspective, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
This
I didn't.
Lions football team is entertaining as hell to me.
Yeah. I got to watch the end of that game, but um, yeah, I got to play against Dak in fantasy, which was awesome because I think he only scored like 7 points or something like that.
I'm surprised it was that much. The Dallas defense was negative 7 points, in case anyone was wondering what that.
-7. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
So I'm looking up the Sunday night football game, what it was. Well, this week it's the Jets and Steelers, but it's not wanting to. They make everything, or I'm just okay. I accept all the cookies, and it's creeping. I'd say tell us golf with Brad. Give us a golf with Brad update, but that's not a it's not a thing. Okay, it was Bengals Giants. That's why I couldn't remember what it was. A very forgettable football game.
Yeah.
Bengals won at 17-7. No surprise there. But yeah, that's other takeaways. Bears are now 4-2. They beat the Jaguars. Jaguars continue to struggle. Caleb
They look
Williams
terrible.
Caleb Williams threw 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
Between him and Jayden Daniels, I mean, the Commanders lost to the Ravens, but I mean, you lost to the Ravens.
When he like the first QB in franchise history to throw for 4 touchdowns in a game.
We're talking about Caleb Williams, right?
Yeah.
Probably. They've never had. I don't think they've ever had a 4,000-yard passer. I mean, they have never had a 4,000-yard passer. They have never had a good quarterback. I mean, their best quarterback since I've been alive has been Jim McMahon. I mean, you won a
Cutler.
McMahon won a Super Bowl.
True.
So,
but you can't say that Cutler wasn't good.
He was good at times. He was great in college. He was the SEC Player of the Year at Vanderbilt. He was good at times in Denver. He was good at times in Chicago. He was never great. He was. I thought he would be a better pro than he ended up being in college because he was in college when we were in college, and I thought he would be a better pro than he ended up being. Yeah, he was good at times. He was not consistently good, especially in Chicago. But I mean, the Bears have never had their guy. They've never had a quarterback where you're like, that's the guy. Houston has that right now. CJ Stroud, that's the guy. I mean, we could do this all day, right? But the Bears, I think it's safe to say they have that guy. He's his numbers now. I mean, for a rookie, pretty good. I mean, he had a rough start, but you knew that's to be expected. He's got 9 touchdowns to 5 picks, and the Bears are 4-2 right now. I mean, that's a good defense. I mean, a really good defense. I mean, they're the number one defense in fantasy right now. I mean, granted, the Vikings had last week off, but that's a better team than we thought they were. It's a good defense.
A lot better.
Yeah,
a lot better than I thought they would be.
I mean, you've got some good receivers, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. You drafted Rome Dunes. I mean, he's only going to get better. Cole Kmet's a pretty good tight end. That's
touchdowns this past weekend, man. That's killer.
Well, he's had like 25 fantasy points 2 of the last 3 weeks. So he's probably starting to come on now. He wasn't good enough for me to keep him on my fantasy team, especially early, but
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a free agent right now in my 10-team league. I assume he's not in your 14-team league?
No. You're looking at guys you've never heard of tied in that league. So.
I believe that. Who is another? I did put in a claim for Evan Ingram. He's currently available in my league.
He just got dropped in my league. So
Well, he's about to get picked back up.
No, he was a part of a trade deal that went down this afternoon.
I was going to say he had 10 catches for like 100 yards on Sunday, so he shouldn't be a free agent in your league. But I didn't realize that about Caleb Williams being the first quarterback in franchise history to throw 4 touchdown passes in a game, but that doesn't surprise me. It makes sense. It's the Bears. It's the one franchise really that hasn't had a quarterback.
Yeah.
At least that's what it feels like. You could say that about the Jets if it weren't for Namath and obviously Rodgers now. But I mean that's that's the Bears. Okay, other takeaways. Derrick Henry, that's looking like a pretty good signee by the Ravens.
Yeah.
I don't know if he leads the lead in rushing right now, but he has to. I believe he's over 700 yards rushing.
He's
right
got to
now.
be the most efficient runner out there.
Yeah, he had well over 100 again Sunday. He's surpassed the 10,000 career yard mark. I know that.
Yeah.
He's got 10,200 something yards. He's at 98 rushing touchdowns right now. So he's going to get to 100. He's got like 8 of them, I think, this season alone.
Yeah, it's pretty unfair with him and Lamar sharing a backfield.
It's awesome. Like, I mean, that's really awesome to
must see TV, but man, if you're on defense, God help you.
Yeah, you're in trouble. As far as that goes. And if you focus on either one of them, it's just going to open up things and you got Zay Flowers. I mean, talk about a draft pick that's been for them. This is what, his second year?
Yeah.
What a player he's been. The tight ends, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. That's a scary team. That's a team. I mean, they were scary last year. They didn't play that well against Kansas City in the opening game of the season and almost won.
Yeah.
The thing. So, if anything, you come away with that one feeling very confident about the type of football team you have. I really like this Ravens team. That's a really fun team to watch. I'm more impressed by Lamar every week. I love that he's a guy that I genuinely didn't think would be able to play in the NFL as far as like franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal. I mean, let's really look at it. His Heisman year, the year he won the Heisman at Louisville, he was only really great for like the first 7 games, if that.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6 games, but
yeah, and he dropped off significantly after that. He was wildly inaccurate at times, and just with that, I was like, he's not consistently accurate enough to be a franchise quarterback. And man, did I whiff on that. 100% whiffed. Have no problem admitting I was wrong there.
You, me, and tons of other people.
Yeah, but I mean, I love watching him play. He's one of my favorite players in the league. It's must see TV as far as I'm concerned. Lamar Jackson. Plus, just a good dude off the field too. So if you see some of the stuff that he's done there in the city with fans, etc. So if you, I don't know, it's just a impossible dude not to root for unless he's going against your team. I guess is the only thing I could think of because he's a nightmare for defensive coordinators. Okay, more NFL stuff. The Colts beat the Texans. I think Anthony Richardson is
beat the Titans.
Who did I say?
Texans.
Yeah, that did not happen. The Texans are 5-1.
I was a little surprised that they beat the Titans, to be honest, but
yeah, I'm not. That could have gone either way. But Colts beat the Titans. Thank you for the correction there. But Anthony Richardson, if he's healthy, do you pull Joe Flacco for him? I mean, Joe Flacco is clearly the better quarterback.
No, you do not pull Joe Flacco for him.
Now, I said it this year before the start of the season. Anthony Richardson, the guy that I think is not going to pan out here in the NFL. One, we saw a very small sample size of him in college.
Very small.
He's just a freak athlete. He's just a great athlete, but that doesn't translate to NFL quarterback. And of course, he made that one great throw this season, that one great deep ball, but he still plays like he did in college, and that got him hurt in college, and it's really going to get you hurt in the NFL. Trying to play running back at times as a quarterback, that's going to get you hurt. You can't do that in this league. I mean, he couldn't do it in college. He got hurt doing it in college. So you definitely can't do it in this league. And I think that'll be the reason, he's not going to last in the NFL. But Joe Flacco's the better quarterback. He's the better quarterback. I'm leaving him in. And you got something with him. Josh Downs is a better player, a much better player with Joe Flacco at quarterback. So
played against him, in fantasy. He killed me.
I'm trying to pick him up this week. When you're making receivers on your team better, that's the quarterback you need to stick with. And that's Joe Flacco. He gives them the best chance right now. He was the best quarterback in Cleveland, and it wasn't close, and everybody in the locker room knew it, and that's why they didn't even offer him a contract. They said, no, we're paying Deshaun way too much money. We can't have any controversy. We're just not even going to offer him a contract. And you see how that's, working out for Cleveland. They're 1-5 right now. Deshaun Watson looks washed. Joe Flacco goes from his couch this time a year ago to, now he's starting for the Colts. So good on him. It's a good story to root for, I guess. I don't know. It makes things interesting for sure. Okay, like I said, Texans 5-1. Other news: the Bucks are 4-2 with a win over the Saints. Baker threw 4 touchdowns. He did throw 3 picks, but they got the win pretty handily, like 51-27, I believe. New Orleans. We've touched up on Deshaun. Okay, fantasy football. Let's talk about that a little bit. I got my butt just handed to me this past week. I have Patrick Mahomes, Harrison Butker. I had Rashee Rice. He's done for the year, but I went and got Juju Smith-Schuster. But they were all on bye this week. I have Cooper Kupp. He's hurt. Christian McCaffrey was my number 1 pick. We know how that's going. He hasn't played yet this season. Jordan Mason got knocked out of the game. His replacement got knocked out of the game in the second quarter. Yep. Had 9 points before that. So that led to me getting beat, and I'm going to pull. Well, did you win this week? Tell us that while I look up score.
In the important league, I won. I'm 4-1. In the less important league, I got throttled, dude. Like by a guy who was 1-4 or something like that. He had a bunch of people on bye week or injured, and this dude just pretty much cleans off his bench. Like trades or, gets 5 guys off of waivers, subs them in, and dude, between my team, shit in the bed, his team went off, dude. I was projected to win by 35, ended up losing by 20.
All right. Well, I actually didn't have the lowest point total in my league. I had the second worst point total. I lost 132 to 67. I'm not including the decimals, but you get the idea. I got it handed to me. It was bad. I put 3 waiver wire moves in. I'm dropping the Cowboys. I'm trying to get the Vikings.
I go after that San Francisco running back. Garindo, Isaac Garindo.
What's wrong with Jordan Mason? What happened? What's going on there?
I think he's out this week. So,
well, may have to do that if that's the case.
It says he's day to day, but it probably wouldn't hurt if you've got room to stash that guy.
I also had Travis Etienne. He got knocked out also. He ended up with -1 point. So there's that. So he's sharing carries now with Tank Bigsby. So he's not near as effective as he was last year and earlier this season. So I plugged in Najee Harris for Travis Etienne for sure, but I'll keep an update on Jordan Mason, I guess. But I put in a move for Josh Downs, like I said, the Vikings, and Evan Ingram. Those are the 3 waiver wire claims I put in. The other, it was the Cowboys defense, Kirk Cousins, and somebody else. I don't even remember at this point. Nobody that was doing anything.
Yeah.
I know that. Tampa's kicker, Chase McLaughlin or whatever. I had him in for Harrison Bucker, who was on a bye. So moves will be made, and I'll look into that pick if, I'll check it tomorrow morning because I doubt I'm going to get all 3 of those anyway. All right, before we get out of here, let's touch up on some college football and a little Major League Baseball stuff, and we'll give an Arkansas LSU prediction for Saturday. All right, what did I miss? The only thing I saw Saturday, I saw the end of the Colorado Kansas State game, which was on late, and with that because I didn't get home till 10 o'clock Saturday night. And by the time I got out of the shower, it was unpacked and out of the shower. It was like 12:30 at night, but I was still able to see the end of the Colorado Kansas State game. Very exciting game. Kansas State ended up winning it. It was close.
Yeah.
Colorado did all this without Travis Hunter, by the way, who's injured. But what else happened in the college football world other than, well, okay, did you see Ohio State, Oregon? That clearly lived up to the hype.
I was flipping back and forth on that game. I probably watched a good 40% of it, but yeah, that was a good game.
What was the other game that you were flipping to?
That was on midday. It was probably is either the Florida Tennessee game or the Texas Oklahoma was way out of hand.
Yeah,
the Vandy game. Whoever Vandy was playing, I was flipping back. Vandy, Kentucky.
Okay, that makes sense because Vandy beat Kentucky. Vandy's 4-2 right now, 2-1 in SEC play,
Watch out now.
Along with the Arkansas Razorbacks. Wow. So, because I was about to say, what game was on that made you switch from a number 2 and number 3 matchup that was that exciting? And it was Vandy and Kentucky. So shout out Commodores there.
Yeah.
Lived up to the hype. Oregon wins it. Was that an overtime game?
No.
Okay.
Nope, not overtime game. Yeah. The quarterback did the boneheaded run and ran out of time. So.
But LSU Ole Miss was an overtime game.
Yeah, that was a heck of a game. Yeah.
Yeah, LSU won it in overtime. Tennessee edged Florida 23-17. I did see that. And Alabama narrowly beat South Carolina 27-25. And like you said, Texas dominated Oklahoma, so not much there competition-wise. But it looks like you have something to say about one of those.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought for sure Tennessee was going to lose to Florida just to diminish our win a little bit. I was like, yeah, figures. Tennessee's going to lay 2 in a row, but luckily it didn't happen. So,
well, Alabama almost did that.
Alabama did almost do that. And so close. They Beamer ball to the fullest, even got the onside kick.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've said it on the show time and time again. I mean, that's South Carolina. They'll beat a team or at least be very competitive with a team they shouldn't be, and then they'll lose like a stinker, one that they should easily win. That's kind of Beamer ball, like you said. I mean, I didn't see any of it. I mean, is it something that South Carolina kind of blew or Alabama almost blew? What?
I'd say South Carolina blew it. I mean, they recovered the onside kick, and then I want to say it ended with the guy threw a pick. So, didn't make the most of that onside kick. So all they needed was a field goal. But whatever.
Okay, rock on. Well, Arkansas was off this week. That's another reason I chose this week to go fishing. Like I said, But
It was a nice, relaxing weekend.
I had a very relaxing weekend. I mean, I was
Yeah.
very active, but it was, I mean, most of it I was sitting by, really nice spring water, just trout fishing. So pretty awesome stuff. Let's talk MLB playoffs a little bit. Uh, NLCS currently Dodgers Mets. They're tied at one game apiece right now. Game three is tomorrow, I believe, Wednesday. Yankees and Guardians. We got a score update on that. This is game two.
It's 4-2 Yankees.
All right, 4-2 Yankees. So Yankees score another run. It's the middle of the seventh, no outs. Who we got winning these? Who do we see in the World Series? I'll let you go first.
Man, I don't know. I'd probably have to go with the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Same here. That's my pick. If one of these two teams gets an upset, I would say it would probably be the Mets.
Yeah.
Just because they've been that team. They're the sixth seed and they beat the top seed Phillies, and now this is happening. Well, I think the Dodgers were the top seed, but I mean, you beat the Phillies, who were favored in that. Okay. Yeah, I got Dodgers Yankees too. That's who I see ending up in the World Series. Another news, and the Chicago Marathon was Sunday, the race I ran in 2021. New world record was set amongst the women. Ruth, I'm going to give this a shot. Chep Chepgetich of Kenya, probably butchered that last name, but set a new women's world record with a time of 2:09:56, beating the previous world record time by almost 2 minutes. So she's the first woman ever to uh, come under the 2 hour 10 minute mark in the marathon. So shout out to her. And before we get out of here, Arkansas LSU prediction: Arkansas 4-2, 2-1 in SEC play. Play hosts to number 8 LSU, who's 5-1, 2-0 in SEC play. Game is at Reynolds Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville. Who you got, Brad? It's a night game, 6 p.m. game. Who you got? What's your score?
I mean, LSU does play different on the road. Like Arkansas's had, so I don't know. Played their butt off against Tennessee. I don't know if I see it happening again. I don't know. I'd probably have to go 30-24 LSU.
That's a good prediction. I'm gonna go 31-28 LSU. Hopefully we're both wrong. But yeah,
Yeah.
LSU's a good team. Hopefully Arkansas and Taylor shows up and Taylor Green can play. But we're out of time. We'll have to touch back up on this next week. Till then, I'm your host, Graham Powell.
Brother Brown.
Deuces, y'all.
Peace.